Thanks for joining us for postseason basketball. Clearly, guys, the second half going to be a tough task for the Toronto Raptors.
Poor execution for them offensively. Settling for bad shots far too often. Recipe for disaster.
Man, Kenny, your optimism is infectious. Taking a look at how the series is going. Thanks, as always, for watching. Let's head back to Brian Anderson and crew for the start of the second half.
And welcome back to our coverage of Game 3 on 2K Sports. You look at Jalen Brunson in this game, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, they've done an amazing job of creating room to operate for him. And then, of course, executing.
One of the things every player is after is efficiency at the offensive end. And boy, this young guy has done just that.
Barnes and Poeltl down low at the 4 and 5. Then it's Walter. Then there's Immanuel Quickley. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors. Raptors trail by 14. Now Quickley. Yet to see a basket. Walter can't get it to go. Here's Caldwell. Pass to Şengün. Now Brunson. Towns down low. Guarded by Quickley. Clock at 4. The 3 is up. Şengün, that's good. Şengün's got 11 points.
The assist numbers certainly stand out. They've really emphasized ball movement here today.
Back to Quickley. Poeltl with a screen on Brunson. Quickly from outside. It's rebounded by Şengün.
Well, he tries to answer with a 3 of his own and can't do it. You can't get caught up in the one-on-one aspect.
And Şengün throw it down.
It's been an outstanding performance for them in just about every area.
You know this. It's not easy building a lead on the road, but this team has been lights out throughout the game.
Quickly finds Poeltl. Down low. Here's Walter. Poeltl up top. Pass to Walter to halt the run. And he lays it in. 9 points in the game.
Their first basket in 4 tries. Let's see if that basket gets them going. It can be contagious now.
Brunson passes to Caldwell. Back to Brunson. Here's Caldwell. Towns passes to Caldwell. Here's Brunson outside. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
What's working here? Each guy is willing to make the next pass.
Boy, they'd love if anyone could get a bucket.
Yeah, their offense has been grinding to a halt.
Outside Barnes, from behind the arc, sinks the tray.
Oh my goodness, what an answer from Scotty Barnes. Drills the comeback triple. Stop it.
Pass to Towns. Left side Brunson. Second shot opportunity, and it's good on the layup. Brunson's got 7 points here in the quarter.
This guy has been a catalyst for them all game long. What a job leading them to this lead.
Here's Walter. Back to Quickley. Poeltl with a screen on Brunson. Inside. And the dunk by Poeltl.
I think his frame makes him very difficult to deal with as a roll man. Poeltl can set a mean screen.
Here's Şengün. And count that. 2 points and a chance for one more. The line.
And I think it's time to put multiple bodies on him.
He shot 3 of 6 from the foul line. The Raptors making a switch here. Jackson is checked in. And the Nets also making a change. Whitehead, he's checked in for Thomas.
One shot.
Şengün, no good on the free throw.
Yeah, Şengün's aggressive style is what gets him here.
Here's Jackson. Rebounded by the Nets. Towns has got rebound number 5 here tonight. And there's the drive. Outside Brunson. Pass to Caldwell. Brunson against Quickly. No good on that one. 7 for 12 now. And so Quickly will bring it up for the Toronto Raptors. 19-point game. Jackson with a screen on Brunson. Here's Quickly. Oh, and makes it with the kiss. Quickly's gotten his first bucket of the night.
Boy, Quickly getting a bucket on the interior. Nicely done.
Here's Şengün. Hey, he's now 6 for 6. He is cooking right now.
Yeah, showing a little versatility with their offensive attack. In the first half, it was about the 3-ball. In the second half, they've emphasized interior scoring.
Jackson gets the bucket.
What a snappy pass from Quickly straight to the open teammate.
Pass to Brunson. 36 seconds left in the third. Uneasy, too, on the layup. Brunson's got 9 points now in the second half.
This guy is putting his fingerprints all over the game in this quarter. He has flat out dominated the offensive end.
Quickly outside to the middle. Boy, left it right in the sweet spot with the lob. Nicely done.
Oh, incredible! Save that one. I want to watch it again.
Awesome. Pass to Caldwell. The 3. Pirtle grabs a miss. Pirtle's got 4 rebounds now. Here's Jackson. Towns with a rebound. Towns has got 6 rebounds now in the game. Good if it goes. Oh, at the buzzer! Wow!
I didn't think he was... gonna get it off in time. Oh, wow.
Great awareness in crucial situations. Nicely done.
It's been all about Jalen Brunson for the Nets. He's been effective on offense, racking up 21 points so far in this contest. More 2K action in just a moment. All right, let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
Talk about painting a magnificent picture with that, Don. Just a great decision and a perfect delivery.
We call that putting it right in the pocket, and he knew what to do with it once it was there.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining 2K Sports and our coverage of this first round. On the floor for Brooklyn, Miles Bridges is out there with Alperen Şengün. Then it's Cam Thomas, and it's Caldwell in at the 3. Pass to Jackson. And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Nets.
I mean, they've played some beautiful basketball all game. The passing has been impressive, and it's opened up things with their ball movement.
Boy, the long ball has been another point of emphasis for this group tonight. Their shooters are finding open spaces and firing without hesitation.
And he drops the first. And so Jackson nails both of them. And the Nets with possession here. Here's Caldwell. Ooh, nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup. And the Nets lead by 20.
Boy, it looked like the D was going to get to that shot, but what a job he did to change his release and get the lay-in.
Here's the floater. Walter can't get it to go. And the Nets shooting at around 60% on this one. Very efficient. And that one is hammered home.
Well, that's something his coaches would like to see more of from Cam Thomas, making plays for others.
Impressive looks on the AT&T 5G Slam Cam. The Raptors shooting only 40% from the floor in this game. Jackson on the wing. Floats one. Good. Jackson's gotten 4 this quarter. Brooklyn leading by 20. And as it goes out of bounds, Brooklyn able to keep possession.
Extremely fortunate they didn't lose the ball there.
Quickly is checked in for Toronto.
Number 5, Emmanuel Quickly.
And here's Thomas from the arc. Gets the 3 ball to go.
They've been pretty lax with their perimeter defense, giving up a lot of three-pointers.
Thomas has gotten 2 of his 3 shots to go tonight. We've gone about a minute and a half into this 4th quarter. Ooh, poked away. The Nets have gone a perfect 3 for 3 here in the 4th. Here's Caldwell. And it's Toronto with a rebound.
A rare miss for him at point-blank range. That's one he'd like to have back.
Oh, he goes up high for the 2-handed slam.
Well, as usual, this guy cooking on the offensive end, but right now the other guys on his team have got to step forward.
For Brooklyn, Karl-Anthony Towns has checked in for Bridges, and Brunson is subbed in for Ramsey. Wing shot on the way, and the shot falls short that time.
I'm sure he's kicking himself. He hates to blow that kind of opportunity.
Here's Walter, and it's blocked. Out of bounds as Toronto keeps possession. And it's time to take another look at that powerful block.
You know that block has him and his teammates all pumped up. That is what playoff basketball is all about.
Hey, who's watching them?
Quickly outside. 6 on the shot clock.
And his struggles have been apparent. Unable to make an impact scoring the ball.
Here's Caldwell. Basket is good. Off the assist from Brunson. Brunson's got his 5th assist in this one.
His first triple of the second half. That makes 3 for the game.
And so here is Toronto. Quickly deciding where to go with it. Up again. Karl-Anthony Towns comes up with a rebound. The Nets have gotten 4 shots out of 6 attempts to drop so far in the 4th. They get the rebound. Finds it again. 6 for 12 and remaining assertive.
That'll drive your coach crazy, failing to box out.
And to me, this is a common theme that's running through the league right now. Guys looking to leak out rather than box out.
Pass to Walter from outside the arc. And he's 6 for 12 after that one.
Yeah, we know this about Scotty Barnes. He has a team-first mindset, finds the open player in that instance.
To the paint. Here's Caldwell. Ooh, the lead pass was in the perfect spot to set up the layup. Caldwell's got 11 here in the quarter alone. And so quickly we'll bring it up for the Toronto Raptors. Outside Barnes. To the inside. Walter. And he makes it on the layup.
Scotty Barnes is a well-rounded basketball player. Passing is part of that, guys. Pretty pass there.
And that'll wrap up game 3. Now we'll look ahead towards an important Game 4 for the Nets.
And everything seemed to go their way today. They were firing on all cylinders, Grant.
Yeah. BA, this was the kind of performance you relish as a player. Just a very impressive win.
And with their performance tonight, you have to think this series is all but over.
It's impossible to see it any other way. And I don't think it's going to get past Game 4. If this doesn't end in a sweep, I'll be shocked.
And as it was happening, as it was building, you knew this was a monster game for Alperen Şengün.
Boy, I thought his best work was his pursuit of the basketball. He competed for every rebound, fought for position in the paint, and never stopped working. I love it.
Down low. Nice pass, nice catch, and a resounding dunk.
Finishing the game strong. This is how you shut the door on any hopes of a comeback.
No question. They've gotten hot at exactly the right time. Clutch play on a team level.
Now here's Poeltl. Not a lot of room. He's off on that one. There's 39 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Caldwell misses. Here's Toronto with the ball. Pass to Walter. Let's go with a three. Knocks down the long J.
Such a reliable threat from range. You'd think the defense might key on him a little bit more.
Here's Caldwell. And again, it's Brooklyn.
And they came in here with some attitude, and it brought out their best play.
And I couldn't agree more. What makes it that much more impressive, they're doing it on the road.
Inside. Barnes, it's good.
You get the sense Scotty Barnes is very comfortable in the painted area. That's easy work.
Pass to Caldwell. From the arc. No good there. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. And now that they're up 3-0, winning this whole series is well within their grasp.
You think it's only a matter of time, but the postseason is all about expecting the unexpected. They need to stay focused and finish strong.
Well, that'll do it for now. Glad you could join us during the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. For Doris Burke, Allie LaForce, and Grant Hill, and our entire crew, this is Brian Anderson thanking you for tuning in. So long, everybody.
MP sneaking up on Steph Curry as the GOAT shooter.